All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about the things not to do. So when you're looking in your book, we're going to look on page 6, the foods to avoid. And the first one is avoid processed foods. So like white flours, sugars, etc. So anything really that comes in a fancy box, if it has marketing on it, that's a processed food. And people are so stinking good at marketing that they will get you to buy anything and make you think of how wonderful this food is, and they will sell it to you. It's organic, it's all natural, it's gluten-free. Yeah, gluten-free. It's the tag word for right now, gluten. Gluten is the tag word. About 5 years ago it was trans fat. Do you guys remember seeing trans fat on everything? On licorice they had no trans fat. Really? Who cares? And now it's gluten-free, and that's what's on licorice right now. Gluten-free is on your licorice right now. So there's a lot of things that processed foods really do to your body. The first thing is when you're ingesting those processed foods, it's going to take a heck of a lot longer for you to digest them. I mean, a lot longer. If you can't pronounce the ingredients on the box, okay, boys over there, I'm going to swear. I'm sorry. Just letting you know up front, okay? Okay, well, in the book, I have avoid the chemical soup, right? You see that on there? Really, I couldn't write in the book chemical shitstorm, so I wrote chemical soup. But literally, when you look at all those ingredients, think chemical shitstorm. Do you really want to put that in your body? You really don't. There's things that say fat-free, artificially sweetened. All of these tag words that these marketers have come up with to get you to buy it, to make you think that this is a really good thing for me, and it's really not. The way I consider clean eating and eating an unprocessed food is it's real. It's in its natural environment. So it's an apple. It's not applesauce. Applesauce is processed. Now, if you make it on your own, you've taken out a lot of the processing of it, where they put all those chemicals in. Now, if any of you guys brought a food, I want you to look at the bag of it or the box of it, and I want you to start reading the ingredients.
Yeah, it was like she put it on.
It's like right at 6 o'clock or so. Okay. Can you guys literally say all those names?
Yeah, on this one.
On that one you can? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lower reduced sugar cranberries.
I may attack you for the function.
I love the cranberries.
It's interesting to actually look at it, and so the bag of Cheetos, can you read all the ingredients?
I can read it.
Do you know what each one of them are?
Yeah. But I can read it.
Yeah. So just really, really watch that. When you're picking up a packaged food, you want to look at it. Now look at the label on it. How many servings are in that package? Yeah, it says it. Okay, so we're going to use the Cheetos. Can you throw that to me? Okay. So we've got a bag of Cheetos right here. Okay, I'm going to show the camera. We got a bag of Cheetos, and it says a serving size is 1 ounce, about 13 pieces. How many of you have ever stopped at 13 pieces of Cheetos? Not a chance in hell. Okay, so there's 8 servings in here. How many of you have eaten a whole bag of Cheetos over the course of a day or 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, any guesses of how many calories per serving? 150. So when you look at 150 servings, I can handle 150 servings, but you eat half of the bag. Okay, so grab your calculator, I cannot speak, 150 times 8.
So was that 1,200
Yeah, about 1,200 calories. 1,200 calories in this bag. 15% of it is all from fat. Yeah. Yeah. 15% is from fat. Okay, so it's 10 grams of fat. We're going to do a little math. okay? So if I eat the whole bag, that's 8 servings, so 10 grams times 8 is 80 grams. 80 grams. It takes 9 calories to burn off 1 gram of fat. So it's 80 times 9.
720.
720 calories is what I have to expend. So if any of you guys did my class this morning where I pushed you really, really hard, you would have to do that class about 3 times to burn off just the fat alone. Makes you think a little bit differently about eating that processed food, right? Yeah, kind of gross. All right, so we're going to talk about simple sugars for a moment. Oh, I didn't push that far enough. And so when you are digesting those simple sugars actually kind of tear your body apart. They really do. What happens is they actually remove the B vitamins. Who knows what B vitamins are good for? Stress. They help you with stress. They help you with energy. And when you have simple sugars and some processed foods, you're depleting your B vitamins. It also really breaks the balance of your calcium and phosphorus. Where is most of the calcium and phosphorus found in your body? Bones and your teeth. So it's breaking down your teeth when you have a lot of those simple sugars. So if you've ever been to the dentist and they ask you, have you been drinking a lot of soda? They know because of your teeth. They can actually see those teeth disintegrating from the inside out. Makes you think a little bit differently about eating or drinking some of those sugary drinks, or even just some of those simple sugars. It also causes a spike in your blood sugar. So what happens when your blood sugar goes way up?
Your insulin.
Insulin! Insulin has to pump through your veins. You have too much of that going on, and what's going to happen? You crash. And the parts of you that make that insulin, you're going to become so that your body doesn't really recognize it. And so you are now a diabetic. Okay? That's what happens with simple sugars. Also, some of the hormones in your body way increase production. They go way, way, way up. When you look at a lot of kids, and I know some of you guys are in the school system, and you see what some of these kids bring into the schools. And you also look at like their body shape. Haven't they gotten a lot wider? And their bodies are developing at a faster rate than what they would have if they weren't eating those processed foods. Yeah. Okay. I know it sounds really, really bad, but you look at, say, a young male who is maybe 7, 8 years old, and he looks like he's growing breasts. And part of that is because of the increase of hormone production because of some of the processed foods. The other thing is some of those hormones that are produced completely stop. So that's why we try to stay away from processed foods, okay? And I know it sounds like a really big scare tactic, and I don't mean it at that, but when you guys did your very first week and I had you write down every single thing you ate, didn't it kind of disgust you a little bit? To the point where you're like, I really don't want to eat that now. I hope that I get the message across to you too tonight that when you're eating some of this processed food, it kind of disgusts you. You look at it and you're like, that's gross. I really don't want that. How many of you guys like to watch documentaries? Yeah, have any of you seen Fed Up? No? Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 different titles. If you want to watch them, feel free to. They're very, very interesting. Also understand that in all documentaries that they are hitting it typically from one angle. There are other multiple angles. So don't watch a documentary and think, this is just exactly the way it is. You've got to look at all sides, all sides of the issue. So the first one's called Fed Up, and it's talking about the sugars in school. And one of the big things that just blew me away is how in the school system, they actually considered pizza a vegetable because it has tomato sauce on it. Processed tomato sauce, yes. Really, really interesting. So it talks a lot more about kids and the effects of sugar on kids. If it's going to have the same effect on kids, isn't it going to have the same effect on us? Okay, so Fed Up. The other one is called Sugar Coated, and the other one is called The Secrets of Sugar. So those are the three. So if you ever get bored and want to watch something, those are a couple that, you know, are very, very interesting. There's some boring parts in them, but I don't know, for me, I find some of those things fascinating. You know, like what I put in my body actually makes a difference or not. So those are some of the titles. All right, so another thing to avoid are artificial sweeteners. And we have a lot of different artificial sweeteners, and I'm going to go through just a couple of them tonight, and then I'm actually going to send you in the notes a whole lot about each one of the different sweeteners so that you guys can, you know, have a chance to really read through it. Just so you know, one of the challenges this week is going to be to tell me a couple of characteristics of some of the sweeteners, some of the artificial sweeteners, okay? So make sure that you read it because it's very, very interesting. Each one is about a paragraph to maybe a paragraph and a half, so very short, okay? So when you've had artificial sweeteners, how many of you guys still crave sugar? So you have like the sugar-free cookie or the sugar-free candy, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that just didn't do it. Any ideas why? No? So one of the big theories out there is when you've had an artificial sweetener, your body gets the satisfaction of having a sweet taste, but it doesn't have the calories associated with it. So you're typically trying to find more calories in order to satisfy the caloric intake that is typically connected to those sweet tastes. Okay? I mean, I would honestly rather have you eat one whole regular chocolate chip cookie than 4 or 5 sugar-free cookies. Okay? It's almost better to just go for the straight sugar. Okay? Now, as far as the different sweeteners, the first one is saccharin, sweet and low. And again, I'm going to send these all to you, so don't feel like you have to, you know, jot everything down. But the first one is saccharin, and it's the original sugar substitute. It came in about the 1970s is when it really gained popularity. The biggest thing with this one is the possible links to cancer. So it's very, very high up there. So sweet and low is the one. So what is sweet and low, the pink packet? Stay clear. Stay clear. All right, the next one is aspartame. So equal and NutraSweet. So this one, I thought it was really interesting. And I don't remember this. Then again, I grew up in Canada, so maybe it was just the difference. But did anybody remember getting gumballs in the mail? No? I guess there was a huge marketing campaign years ago when they sent gumballs in the mail, and it was actually the rise of NutraSweet because it was a sugar-free candy. And so that's when that one really gained popularity. Aspartame, the equal and NutraSweet, common complaints are migraines, nausea, muscle spasm, depression, and weight gain. There's also links to brain tumors, birth defects, MS, and fibromyalgia. Crazy, right? Aren't those ones the blue packets? Stay clear. Stay clear. All right, sucralose, which is Splenda. Okay. Out of all of these, probably one of the better ones to have. Those are typically what you're going to find in your protein powders, your protein bars. They're okay as long as they're not connected with a lot of the other things like maltodextrin, also known as glucose polymers or dextrose. Okay, so sometimes you'll see those additives in with it. So if you've got a bar, look and see. It's pretty interesting. The really cool thing about sucralose is that it is 600 times sweeter than sugar. So you need just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. Okay. Is it helping to kind of go through some of these? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Again, I'm going to send all this to you. Sugar alcohols. This is another really big one that you'll see in a lot of like bars and, you know, kind of other diet type products. They're the sugar alcohols. They may have a laxative effect. So if you look at that and you see that there's really high sugar alcohols, it could just, and you have that issue, it could be because of that. Stevia. Stevia is a South American herb plant. And it's not bad. Typically it's organic. Again, one of the better ones. It's about 300 times sweeter than sugar. So your Truvia, Purevia, things like that. Those are some of the better ones. Xylitol. Anybody know what xylitol is?
Is that alcohol? Is that sugar alcohol?
You've heard of it. I mean, you've seen that on some of the labels. It's actually a sweetener that's found in berries. And so it's okay, but when it's in the commercial form, it's really not okay.
Is that in like gum and stuff?
Yes. Yep, that's where you see it mostly. In kind of the stickier foods. And it's because of like just coming from the berry, it just has the consistency that is better for candies. So that's where you see the xylitol. Agave. How many of you guys use agave?
What wasn't good about xylitol?
In the commercial form, because they put so many other fillers into it to get it so you can ingest it.
Agave,
Yeah, agave.
I've used it.
Yeah, agave is really good, but it is processed. It comes from a natural form, but it goes through processing just like anything else. You're gonna start seeing a lot more agave in products when you look at the sweeteners. And it's not bad, just understand that it's processed. Okay, the actual real sugar. Again, like I said, sometimes it's better to just have the flat old cookie, the regular old cookie with the chocolate chips in it, than to try to go for some of these things that have all of these different things in it. And I'm really gonna leave it up to you guys, but I think the more information that you guys can have and the better informed that you are, you can make a better decision as to what's good for you. I would, however, really caution you against the pink packets and the blue packets. Just stay away from those.
Yellow too. The yellow. Something in the yellow?
Yeah, what is the yellow?
Yellow is Splenda, so you said that's
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, the yellow one, yeah. If you
Just do a little bit.
you really don't need a whole lot. Like I said, it's about 300 times sweeter than sugar. So when you put like a teaspoon of sugar on, you really don't need a teaspoon of the Splenda to make it just as sweet. Okay, so we're going to do a little experiment. This is kind of fun. And I have a great big huge thing of sugar.
Sheesh.
Okay. Oops. I also have a teaspoon here. So the camera has to be able to see it. All right, who has a product that they brought with them tonight?
I did.
Okay. How many grams of sugar are in a serving?
Okay, these are lean crayons, they're 50% less sugar, no artificial sweeteners. And it
Great
says-
marketing.
And one serving size is a third of a cup.
Okay.
Okay, there's 3.5 in this little bag. And the sugar is 13 grams.
Okay, 13 grams in a serving. Okay, when you want to figure out how many teaspoons of sugar that is, you're going to divide the number of grams by 4. Okay, so it's 13.
Mm-hmm.
1,
3, right?
no, 2, 3.
That much sugar on the serving of this. Oh my goodness. Did you see that?
I guess I won't be eating cranberries
Holy
anymore.
cow. Yeah, you can have that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you can take that with you. Ooh, wow.
Okay, so amazing, right? So,
50% less.
and that's 50% less. Okay, who has another product?
The Cheetos only have 1 gram of sugar.
The Cheetos only have 1 gram. Okay, they don't have
It
tons.
says less than 1.
Less than 1.
This one's only got 1 gram. but
It's only got 1 gram.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple numbers here, just for kicks. Let me see which one. Okay. Oh, that doesn't give me. A Coke, a 20-ounce Coke. Any guesses?
Oh my gosh.
20 ounces.
How many?
20 ounces.
How many teaspoons?
How many teaspoons?
That would be
10?
15, yeah. 15. Here she goes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14. You want to see it? See it?
So when my kids ask for that Coca-Cola.
Oh.
Wow, that's amazing.
Just fill up a half a cup of sugar and hand it to them.
Yeah, if you told me to eat that, I would not be able to.
Right?
Boys,
What?
come check this out.
Coca-Cola.
This is in one soda.
One soda.
One soda?
One soda.
One of your guys' sodas, that's how much sugar. Yeah.
Did he say sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoa! So now you understand why I say no.
Why, when us moms are like, you're not having that Dr. Pepper? Are you kidding me? Okay. Okay, a Gatorade.
Wait, that was what I was gonna ask.
A Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Should we do a Gatorade?
Yeah.
You guys ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And a half.
Almost as much as a Coke.
8.5. Okay, so again, what's happening to your body when you digest this?
Flushing out all your B
You're
vitamins.
flushing out your B vitamins. So the energy that you're getting now has to be replaced with caffeine. That's why there's caffeine in a lot of it, because you've just depleted your B vitamins. What else happens? Blood sugar levels go up. Insulin levels have to go up. You're going to crash after. What else happens?
I get really thirsty. I
Okay.
don't know, is that a high sodium, do you say in that?
Typically, with caffeine is a dehydrator.
Okay.
It's a diuretic. So
Yeah,
you're going to
it's-
pee like a racehorse after. Your teeth and your bones start breaking down. Hormone levels go up. Some hormone levels go down.
Jessica, here's a good story from education.
Okay.
We raised money,
Mhm.
the student council did, to build a weight room, to buy exercise equipment, to build a weight room. The biggest way we raised money was with soda machines.
Yep.
It was before everybody knew about how much sugar there was and blah, blah, blah. And we made a lot of money and built a weight room.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Productive.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people have done that. A lot of schools have done that. And not nearly as much now as they did,
Yeah,
15,
pretty
20 years
much.
ago. But they would literally put vending machines out in the front, and they could get a ton of money off of the vending machines just because everybody kind of gets addicted to it.
You know what bugs me? We have a vending machine at school, only for the teachers.
Teachers.
Sodas are 75 cents, water's $1.25.
Doesn't it stink and tick you off?
I'm like, are you serious?
I know.
That makes me so mad.
Yep, I know. I totally hear you. I'm actually going to share a thing on Facebook probably tonight, and it's a little video about obesity in America. So I want you guys to watch it. It's like a minute long or something like that. It's just really, really interesting to see, why obesity in America is so heavily prevalent. I mean, we become so addicted to things that become supersized. You think of all the processed food or processed chemicals that go into the food, which in turn make our bodies feel really crappy, and so we're constantly searching for other things to make us feel better. It's like, no wonder we are the way we are. We're addicted to so many things. So I know a lot of you guys, in the first couple weeks here, kind of get those little bit headaches and you feel a little bit like off your sorts. Well, part of it is you're going through a detox. I mean, really, truly, you're pulling some of those foods out of your body and you're going through withdrawals. And I'm sure you all kind of felt that a little bit. In fact, how many of you guys did feel that you actually felt like you were going through a little bit of withdrawals?
The first week.
The first
After
week?
The first.
And then it got a little bit better, and it's going to continue to get a little bit better. Now, if you were to go and have like a soda where literally I could just take my whole bowl here. Oh, that's not enough. Okay, there's a margarita.
Oof.
Oh, my God.
That's like a margarita right there. I totally lost my train of thought. What was
Why
I
does
saying?
the margarita have so much sugar?
Oh,
What's in it?
Juice, that fruit juice.
The fruit juice, the alcohol in it. Oh yeah, the sugar on it. Oh yeah, alcohol. Yeah, which will be the next topic. But I mean, it's like no wonder. Would I go and eat this? It really wouldn't. But, you know, once you've come off of a lot of those processed foods and you've really started to come off of the sugar, you go and you have something like this, like a margarita that has a ton of sugar in it, you're gonna be jittery. You're gonna feel the effects of what that sugar actually does to you in its natural form. It's just, you guys are so, you've built up that tolerance level to it that right now, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, you didn't even notice it. Now you do. Now you do notice it. So, let's talk a little bit about alcohols, because alcohol is one thing that we want to avoid. Okay. What does alcohol do to our bodies? Any idea?
Make me feel good.
It's a depressant.
It is a depressant, absolutely. Yep. It's also a diuretic. So it's going to make you flush out.
Mhm. One glass and I'm in the bathroom all night.
Okay. And that's why, it's because it's a diuretic. Along with that, you're also losing a lot of the vitamins and nutrients because they attach themselves and you get rid of the vitamins and nutrients. Dehydration is one of the big factors. So if you become very, very, very drunk and you've gone through alcohol poisoning or, you know, to that extent, a lot of it is dehydration. It's dehydration. If you're trying to lose weight,
Impossible.
impossible. So I told you guys a little bit about, so your proteins and your carbohydrates take how many calories to burn off 1 gram? You guys remember? 4. How many calories does it take to burn off a fat, 1 gram of fat? 9. Do we know what alcohol is? 7. It's 7. Yeah. So those are the 4 categories. So it takes 7 calories to burn off 1 gram of alcohol. So it's really kind of like a battle. The other thing is alcohol interferes with protein synthesis. So when you are trying to build muscle, like when you're doing your HIIT sessions, are you building muscle? Yes, you are, big time. You're really building muscle. If you're drinking a lot of alcohol with it, your proteins are not going to be able to break down effectively in order to rebuild those muscles, and you're actually going to start losing your lean weight. You want lean weight. The more lean weight that you have on your body, the more calories you're going to burn while you're at rest. We all want lean weight. So hopefully, you know, when you go to drink that next glass of alcohol, think, okay, I'm going to lose muscle for drinking this. And I mean, it takes time, and it's not just one glass, but it is over a period of a time. The other thing that really happens with alcohol, and I think this is by far the very, very most important one, mindless eating.
I was just gonna say that.
Mindless eating.
Yeah.
Because you lose control. You lose control. You lose that sense of like where, you know, what I've had, what I need. Do you know what helps to really kind of bring your level of drunkenness come down? I guess for a better term. What food group?
Carbs.
Probably.
Isn't it carbs or
Fats.
Yeah.
Fats. So if you eat a lot of fats with your alcohol, you're going to be able to hold your alcohol a heck of a lot better. So what are most appetizers in bars? Peanuts,
Yeah, guacamole.
pretzels,
dips and
guacamole,
chips.
chips like cheese dips,
Bread.
Yep,
With olive oil.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever.
yep.
A lot of, someone who used to own a lounge told me he loved buying pretzels and goldfish and all that, the salt in them too.
Mhm.
Because
It makes
the
you
more you start
thirsty.
eating those things, and yeah, then you're gonna order more.
Yep.
More liquor.
Again, it's a marketing ploy. It's a marketing ploy. When you look at most appetizers in a bar atmosphere, they're going to be packed full of fat because they know that if you eat those things that you are going to drink more alcohol. You could handle your alcohol better and you're just going to drink more of it. So it's the mindless eating that comes along with it. That to me, I think, is one of the biggest things. That and the protein synthesis that happens in your body. So again, if you're trying to lose weight, and I know it's really, really tough, but really limit it through this process. Once you feel like you're kind of at the weight that you want to be at, then if you want to add in, you know, a glass of wine once a week or a beer once a week, then go for it. But really, truly, if you've been drinking a lot, where has it led you? To right here, right? Do you want to keep on going through this process again? Learn to limit it. Learn to limit it. Plus, if you limit it, then from what I understand, one glass is a heck of a lot more, right? Okay, the last one is avoiding fatty foods or fried foods. Why would I want to avoid that?
Bad cholesterol.
Well, you're only supposed to have 2 servings, or what, 3 servings of fat. So.
Amen, right there. It's not that if I eat fat, I'm going to be fat. Not at all. Not at all. You need healthy fats in your diet, but it's really, you're going to gain weight when you have more calories than what you expend. Again, if I'm looking at a fat, I'm needing to burn off 9 calories to burn off 1 gram as opposed to a fat and a protein and a carbohydrate, which is 4. So I'm gonna have to work twice as hard to burn off that fat. So, limit it. And also, I mean, in peanuts, you guys have all, I think, had a very, very, eye-opening experience with nuts. Yeah? They're really high in calories, aren't they? For a tiny little thing.
This little thing right here?
Uh-huh.
That's 1 serving.
Yeah.
Oh, tiny.
It's super
100
tiny.
calories.
What's that, 2 tablespoons?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even think it's that.
Tiny too. Yeah, it looks more like
Tiny.
1.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, man, you eat that and it's like, well, that was like a nibble, just to wet my taste buds. When you can have something a lot bigger. So for 100 calories, how many cucumbers could I have? Like 10? Can I eat 10 cucumbers? That's probably not. Okay? So, but you have to balance it out. You have to have fats. Why do we want fats in our diet?
Satiety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they make you feel full. They make you feel good. They taste good, don't they? They taste really good. That's, when you're typically really hungry and you put a little bit of fat on, you're like, okay, no, this is satisfying me. Also, those good fats also help in HDL production, which is the good type of cholesterol. So you need those healthy fats. You just need them in the right amounts. When you're looking at foods, especially when you go to a restaurant and you really have no idea what's in your food, if it is shiny, it has fat in it. Okay? So when you look at your vegetables and they're just glowing,